Mexico City's police chief resigned yesterday amid sharp criticism of his office's handling of recent protests over the apparent massacre of 43 students who were attacked by police in the city of Iguala in the country's southwest, and then allegedly handed over to hitmen from a local drug cartel. Mexico City has been the scene of massive, sometimes violent protests in recent weeks over the fate of the students. Now, rights groups have also accused the police of indiscriminate violence against activists, journalists, and bystanders. On Sunday, Mexico's Attorney General announced that the remains of the students, 21-year-old Alexander Mora Venancio, had been identified, appearing to confirm the feared massacre. And so this case continues, and it shed light on the close ties between police and drug gangs, with dozens of officers arrested in the investigation. Danny Swibel, i24News correspondent, is in studio here with me to discuss it further. First, though, Danny, let's take a look at the following report and break it down from there.
It could be the final straw for the Mexican people. According to various sources, a first DNA testing identified one of the 33 students missing since late September.
If those murderers think that we are going to start crying because we have confirmed the DNA of one of our comrades, we want to tell them that they are wrong. From today, the struggle will continue until we find the other 42 comrades that are still missing alive.
The charred likely belonging to the 43 students had been recovered in a dump in the state of Guerrero. It is in that same state, close to the city of Iguala, that the students disappeared on September 26. They were taken hostage by a local police linked to a drug trafficking cartel. According to the investigation, the students would have been delivered by policemen to the hitmen belonging to the cartel.
I am really tired of living in fear in Mexico and of not being able to go out in the streets in peace and quiet.
Our government must put an end to this corruption. Our army must take care of us, not kill our young people. This is why I'm here.
All over the country, not a day goes by that the demonstrators don't take to the streets. For the Mexican people, this is perhaps one massacre too many, and the government might pay the price.
Danny Swibel, i24News correspondent in studio. This story that has been covered all over the world is insane. And, we're looking at 43 students, but that's a number that, is actually just on the heels of many more missing. Tell me.
This 43 has just become a symbol of the bigger issue of this crime and corruption that's totally dominating Mexico. 100,000 people have perished related to organized crime in Mexico since 2007. 22,000 cases of disappearances. So this 43, people are particularly sensitive to this because it was students. Yeah. And they were connected to a school that's a leftist school. It has a bit of a guerrilla background. But they were just going to protest, and they messed with the wrong people, the mayor of the town.
And his wife.
And his wife, who had direct family connections to the gang involved, Guerreros Unidos. Right. And they took the students, and they are believed to have been thrown over a ravine, and then the remains burned and incinerated. What happens is people go and they find these mass graves, and then they investigate and they realize this is other mass graves. This is not necessarily the mass graves of the students. So these are found throughout the country, and the problem has continued and continued. Half the cities in Mexico from the U.S. State Department are believed to be under organized crime.
Unbelievable. We are also joined on the phone from Mexico itself by Alejandra. She's an activist, part of a group that looks for family members, missing family members. Alejandra, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you? And we're good, and thank you so much for being with us. As we said, one of the bodies has been identified. What are the reactions in Mexico when this news came out, and is there hope to find more?
Well, the first reaction, of course, is sadness, because we expected to find them alive. So the fact that they tell us that they recognized one of our guys dead, I mean, that's really sad. Yeah. So that was the first reaction. And after that, I think there is so much anger in Mexico. People is sad, people is tired of impunity, of injustice. So I think that those are the main feelings among Mexican community.
No, definitely. And I'm wondering with you, what are the next steps of groups that you're part with, of demonstrators? What are What are you planning to push forward an agenda of not just finding more bodies, sadly, but also to try and change the situation?
Yeah, well, the thing is that we are trying to change, the situation in Mexico. We cannot bring this kid alive right now, but we are willing to make a big change, to find for justice. We're fighting for justice and for truth, because government has been telling so many different stories about this, and they are not really, they have no basis to say those things. So we are looking for truth.
No, stay with us. For truth, definitely. And I'm wondering with you, Danny, this is a corruption, when we're looking at the mayor and his wife who supposedly are behind these killings. But as Alejandra said, they're trying for, looking for justice from the government. How high up does corruption go there when it comes to the involvement with the drug cartels?
This is what we're all unsure of, is just who's in collusion with these drug gangs. Right. And a lot of the families actually directly went to President Enrique Peña Nieto, and they asked him, if you can't do something within a couple of days, maybe that means that you're a part of this. Either you're part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. Or if you're not part of the corruption, maybe you're too scared to do anything, meaning you're powerless to affect change. So it goes all around from different states throughout the country, and it's very hard. What now is happening is, at least with these 43, it's created a bit of a mass activism spreading throughout the country. So it is the hopes that with this Peña Nieto, if he can retain his presidency, that they could really affect change. What he wants to do is he wants to replace some of the municipal police forces with state-level units. Right. So ideally, you would remove some of the corruption, but when it's so permeated, when it's so deep in the system, this is going to be definitely an uphill climb.
Yeah, no. And finally, Alejandro, well, sadly, all the time we have it, do you think the government is going to do something to change it?
Well, we are not sure, but we are willing. We are hoping that they do something, because they have to. It's their responsibility to solve this problem, to give justice for the families.
For the families, definitely.
Of the
43. Alejandra.
And for all the Mexicans.
And amen to that. No, terrible story. We'll be following it through. Alejandra, thank you for being with us. Danny Swibel, same to you. And of course, when we get back, we are taking a closer look at the International Anti-Corruption Day, which dominates the show today. First, though, let's hear some more of the morning headlines.